Have you injured your shoulders playing sports, and no matter how much strengthening you do, you're not quite confident with those sudden quick motions? Well, strengthening alone isn't enough, and what you're missing is the speed and power component. As an athlete who plays volleyball and basketball, I rely heavily on sudden quick motions and overhead power. Today, I'm going to show you my favorite physiotherapy and weightlifting exercises for building shoulder power so you can be confident when returning to sports. And at the end of this video, I'm going to show you the sets, repetitions, and the frequency so you can easily integrate these exercises into your own routine. So why would we care about power in the shoulder? Well, power is all about how quickly you can apply force. In the shoulder, we lose it right away with injury, and it's the last component to rebuild back up. If we don't train the speed or power, our muscles and tendons never adapt to being utilized suddenly. And if they don't adapt to that, we risk further injury when we have to quickly recruit our shoulder, or we risk another pain flare-up. We need to make sure our muscles and tendons are trained to move suddenly, so we're good for sports and anything in our daily life. The first exercise is a single arm dumbbell clean. What this exercise is not is you swinging a straight arm up overhead. We are actually utilizing that clean motion following a straight vertical path. To begin well, you're going to set up with your arm dumbbell in between your feet, keeping it close to your body. You're thinking that the power is being initiated through the hip drive. If this is a new exercise for you, you can practice just doing a quick hip drive, exploding up through the hips, pushing down into the ground, and shrugging your shoulder up. This is a great way to begin the initial motion. Once you feel like you've mastered that hip drive and you're starting to shrug your shoulder up to your ear, the second component is having the force follow through to your elbow, bending it up towards shoulder height. You're making sure that the dumbbell is following a vertical path. So the second component to add through the hip drive and shrug is the elbow up towards your ear. This is that front component to the clean. Once you've mastered that first two components and you got that clean motion, we're going to add the snatch. Exploding through the hips, pulling the elbow to the ear, you're then going to extend the arm straight overhead, thinking that you're pushing the weight to the ceiling, following that vertical path, squatting down if you need to. Think to yourself that you're trying to get underneath the dumbbell, making it one fluid, explosive motion. A big key is making sure that you're engaged to the shoulder blades and that you're bringing the arm straight up, finishing overhead, so it's nice and square. Next we have here is the banded throw. Try having the band anchored at about shoulder height or slightly higher. You're then going to replicate your throwing motion. For football players, baseball players, volleyball players, you're trying to mimic whatever that motion is of your arm. If you're spiking up from up top or you're throwing from a closed position. It is really important that you have your step through, your hip drive, and your trunk rotation. It is not just an arm moving exercise. You need to have the full motion through your body to really replicate that whip. If you're just beginning out, I always recommend to go half speed. You have to just get the body used to you moving through a complex motion. As you start to feel more confident, you start to add more speed. It is most important to build the speed up first, then increase the band tension. Once you get to 100% speed, then you can go to a heavier band. Lastly, we're going to do the reverse throw, where you're reversing your whole throwing pattern. This is to help strengthen all the muscles in the back of our shoulders that resist that full dislocation when we throw. This is your infraspinatus and your teres minor. You're going to cock back trying to keep your elbow as square as you can, not letting it just be down in front. You're really trying to pull back with keeping it 90 degrees here. You are going to be rotating with your hips and your legs, following through, finishing 90 degrees. Again, the same kind of thing. You're going to start with half speed and then gradually build the speed up as you can tolerate. Increasing the band tension once you get more confidence. The big tips for this one, because it is an awkward motion, is to really keep your shoulder blades square in the back, push off of your front, and then rotate that trunk backwards. For those 3 exercises, you're going to follow the same repetitions, sets, and frequency. You're going to keep the reps low, 4 to 6, but powerful. The first thing is increasing the speed. Once you have the speed optimized and your technique is good, then you're going to increase the load. Beginners generally start with a 50% load or 50% weight of what they could do until they reach that top speed, and then you can kind of increase the weight up to about a 75 to 95% of your weight. The set, you're going to do 3 to 4 sets, and the frequency is twice a week. For myself, I play basketball on Mondays and Fridays. I do the banded throw exercises in the mornings or before games. I find this a great way to warm up the shoulders. For the weighted single arm clean or the weighted single arm snatch, I do it twice a week on my upper body day on a Friday and on a Saturday, so the day after my sports. This allows for me to progressively load that without risking delayed onset muscle soreness for competition. Please comment below any questions you might have or any other topics you'd like me to cover. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please consider liking and subscribing.